The Broncos' bounce-back season is off to a disastrous start. The Panthers Premiership defence has copped an early setback, and Carlin Ponga is feeling the heat at the Knights. The Panthers, Roosters, Storm and Eels loom as the top 4 teams that everyone else is chasing. But some indifferent trial form, injuries and suspensions, has a number of surprise contenders on the rise and some heavyweights on the slide. Read on for the NRL Power Rankings heading into Round 1. Stream every game of every round of the 2022 NRL Telstra Premiership season live and ad break free during play on Kayo. New to Kayo. Try 14 days free now. Pressure from players rising on Barrett 503. 16. Broncos. The Broncos held high hopes coming into the season after a much-needed recruitment drive, but so far not much has gone to plan in the 2022 preseason. Star signing Adam Reynolds battled leg soreness that saw him miss both trials before contracting Covid, which placed him in doubt for Round 1 with his former club. Reynolds is the key to turning around the Broncos' poor end of sets, and it will take time for him to gel with his new teammates. So his and the team's preparation has been less than ideal. Albert Kelly and Kobe Hetherington also contracted Covid and Tyson Gamble, and Billy Walters failed to cement a spot in the halves. Fullback Tes Niu was also rubbed out of the opening rounds with injury, while Jake Turpin and Pikes were both tried in the hooker role before the latter also got Covid. With so much doubt around their key positions in the spine, the Broncos will struggle to hit the ground running in 2022, and it could take Kevin Walters some time to steady the ship after a loss and a draw in the trials. Adam Reynolds is the key for the Broncos. Source: 15. Bulldogs. Like the Broncos, the Bulldogs were hopeful of a massive turnaround after taking out the wooden spoon last season. Matt Burton, Josh Adokar, Paul Vaughan, Brent Naden, Matt Duffy and Tavita Pangai Jr. form the nucleus of a strong recruitment drive that should make the Bulldogs much better than the 2022 squad on paper. However, their trial form was less than impressive as they dropped both games to the Knights and the Sharks. It is clear it is going to take some time for the new-look team to form some combinations. The biggest issue the Bulldogs have is who will play halfback, with makeshift option Jake Averillo and Kyle Flanagan failing to cement the role in the preseason. Burton looks like being an excellent signing at 5'8", but after a year in the centres with Penrith it will take him time to adjust back to the role, and even then at his stage of his development, he will need some help in guiding the attack. Matt Burton is under huge pressure to lead the Bulldogs' attack. Source: get all the latest NRL news, highlights and analysis delivered straight with Fox Sports Sport Mail. Now, 14. Knights. The Knights finished in the top 8 last season, but they lost key players Mitchell Pearce and Connor Watson in the off-season, and hooker Jaden Brayley faces a long layoff this year, throwing their spine under huge pressure to start 2022. How Adam Clune and Chad Randall fill those key spine positions will go a long way to deciding how good this Knights team can be in 2022. Apart from Pearce, the squad is largely the same, but recruit Dane Gagai will partner Bradman best in a devastating-looking centre partnership, which will certainly help their attack, as will new halves coach Andrew Johns. However, nothing short of Joey putting on the boots and winding back the clock will help cover for the loss of Pearce. The Knights will have to rely on their forward pack and the brilliance of Carlin Ponga to offset their lack of star power at hooker and in the halves, and as they are some of the most important positions in modern rugby league, it could be a bridge too far for this side in 2022. Carlin Ponga will be under massive pressure without Mitchell Pearce. Source: KFC Supercoach is back. You could win the holy grail of fantasy footy plus $50,000 cash. Play now. 13. Titans. The Titans were impressive in their opening trial early and led the Broncos 26-8 before a late flurry of tries by the Broncos saw the game finish a 26-all draw. Regardless, the Titans showed a lot of promise on the back of their 8th place finish last season, and they went within one pass of beating the Roosters to make the semifinals. Unfortunately, the Queensland floods prevented them from playing their second trial, so some of their stars will go into the season a little underdone. The biggest question mark around the Titans is their new-look spine, with AJ Brimson returning to the halves alongside four-game rookie Toby Sexton in 2022. Brimson went without a trial as he returns from injury, and it will take some time for the brand new halves pairing to click. Star forward David Fifita injured his ribs in the All-Stars game and will also be short of a gallop when he returns in round 1, as will hooker Aaron Clark, who was replaced by Tanner Boyd in the first trial with the intention of playing in the second. The Titans have a potential top 8 team, but with so many unknowns that is purely based on potential at this early stage of the year. AJ Brimson, Tino Efeaswamaloe and Toby Sexton will be key men for the Titans. Source: News Corp Australia. 12. Warriors. The Warriors were impressive in their only trial, defeating an understrength Storm outfit despite being down 12-0 early. However, their lack of a second hit-out due to the floods in Queensland could see them start the season slowly against a much-improved Dragons outfit. The biggest question mark around the team for round 1 is who will replace the suspended Reece Walsh at fullback, with Chanel Harris-Tavita set to be a makeshift option. So much of the Warriors' attack comes through Walsh, and the onus will be on the Warriors' halves to take up the slack. The Warriors are not short on options in the halves, with Ash Taylor, Harris-Tavita, and Cody Nikorima fighting it out to partner prodigal son Sean Johnson. How the Warriors' halves combine and how the pack fares without the suspended Matt Lodge and the injured Tohu Harris will determine if they can get off to a good start in 2022. However, with so many new players in key positions, they may take time to grow into the season. Reece Walsh is suspended to start the season. Source: News Corp Australia. 11. Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs' preseason form is a little hard to go on, as they played a reserve grade team in their convincing loss to the Cowboys before losing a tight 1 to the Dragons minus a few of their most important stars. The main man missing was Latrell Mitchell, who is not due back from suspension until round 2, and Blake Taaffe was quiet in his place despite his 2021 heroics. The biggest question mark for the Rabbitohs is how one-game rookie Lachlan Ilias will fill the considerable shoes of Adam Reynolds, and it may take time for his combination with Cody Walker to develop. The loss of Dane Gagai and Jaden Su'A could also have a big effect on both their attack and defense on the edges, while skipper Cameron Murray was denied a trial due to injury. Last year's grand finalists might need a few rounds to get up to speed, but in their favor they are playing a Broncos team ravaged by disruptions. First up, Latrell Mitchell is suspended until round 2. Source: 10. Raiders. The Raiders' trial form was excellent, with wins over the Roosters and Sea Eagles, who are both top 4 contenders. However, the long-term injury to Jamal Fogarty put a real dampener on their preparations for the 2022 season, as he was considered the key to helping Jack Whiten rediscover his best form. Rookie Brad Schneider fills in at number 7 for the first half of the season, which will be a huge ask. It will take him some time for him to get up to speed. Ricky Stewart's decision to hold back live wire Xavier Savage is also a curious one, given how valuable speed and elusiveness is in the modern game, and he may have little choice but to find a spot for him to give the Raiders some spark in attack. The Raiders have a solid pack that has been together for a while, and Adam Elliott will provide another dimension. But the key to the Raiders is getting the best out of hookers Tom Starling and Josh Hodgson, and their rookie halfback, if they are to match it with the top sides consistently. Jamal Fogarty faces a long injury layoff. Source: 9. Cowboys. The Cowboys were impressive in their trials, with a convincing win over a depleted Rabbitohs team, and they backed it up with a dominant win over the Broncos. The most important part of both trial wins was they conceded 12 and 6 points, which is a massive improvement on their defense last season, which let in the most points in the competition. The Cowboys have a solid team on paper and some excellent attacking weapons, but if they can't maintain a good defensive unit, it will be another long season. There is also some doubts around their halves, with Tom Dearden and Scott Drinkwater fighting it out to partner Chad Townsend, who is on big money and under pressure to turn the club's fortunes